Well, today I'd like to show you my brew system. It's a 3-kettle brew system consisting of a hot liquor tank, a mash tun, and a boil tank. And everything is automatically controlled by a Brewtroller. And I house my Brewtroller in my control unit. As you can see, it's on at the moment. And the way I've designed my system is I use a combination of 3-way valves and 2-way valves. The first 2-way valve, one way actually, is in there, and that's the water in. And this valve is what I call the sparge valve, or the water outlet valve. This valve here, this third valve, this guy right here, he is my mash tun valve. And this valve over here is the boil valve. And that guy there is the return for the circulating, plus it's my outlet valve right after the cooling. It's gas fired, and right now I use welding mats to help defray the heat from my gauges. And it has I have an air pump and a system in there that actually automatically reads the volume in each tank. And this is the hot liquor tank. And I have a coil running through. And the coil goes through this particular connection right here and goes into the mash tun. And the boil tank is also a recirculating tank, so it all depends how I position my valves to start everything. This valve here, if it's off to the left, it's going to sparge and go to the boil. If it's off to the right, it's going to recirculate and go through my coil and then back into the mash tun. And this valve here, if I keep it one way, it will actually let sparge water in through this and come out through the pump and then go into the hot liquor tank in the same way. And this valve here, if it goes to the left, it'll actually take from the mash tun and go up through, and I leave the cooling shut off, so it goes straight through and up and recirculates into the boil tank. So that's kind of the method. I do have a schematic. I don't know if I can get a good picture of that. And that is actually how my system is designed. And as far as the Brewtroller itself, I treat the 2-way valves as one valve, and each has its own switch. So valve 3 is the sparge and mash. So if I go to sparge, it'll go to the left. If I hit mash, it'll go to the right. And I have my fill tank, and plus everything can be switched to automatic to automatically go up there. Here in my pump 1, pump 2, my heat, that's all automatic. And the gauges, and down below, I'll show you, you can hear the valve actually actuate, and a light will shine on as which valve is turned on. as you can see down here. You can hear the valves go as they work. And I'll give you a little insight to the unit itself. Here's the Brewtroller. Kind of stuffed everything in there. There's all my micro switches and my power supply. I have both pumps on a timer delay, so it's actually timed so the valves can move and then the pump will come on. And this is the control panel side, the switch side, plus the control panels. And the underneath is where I have everything connected. And I actually have room for a valve 6, which I'm going to use for my cold water, but I have not installed that yet. And there's a close-up of the Brewtroller. Get it nested right in there, plus on the side I have my 2 connections, my USB, plus a local internet connection. So that's an overall view of my brewery. I've brewed about 10 times with it. I actually have 2 brews right now fermenting. And this is a picture of my brew house kitchen. And the floors are done, plastic walls. So I know I've probably made a mess of this video, but it's my first YouTube video. And I just wanted to show my Brewtroller and my brew system. Thanks.